So, in other incredibly mishandled and what the hell are they thinking Marvel news?
Oh God.
I don't, anybody who still reads Marvel comics needs to get their head checked immediately because, like, what are you doing? I mean, almost even more than DC. It's like, what? No, stop it. There are no little nuggets to be found. There's just what are you doing? Stop it. There's so many other uses for your money. Marvel is doubled down on these comics and they don't care. They don't care that the sales are dropping. They don't care. They will do this until the end, and then they'll blame the fans for it. But Dan Slott, again, talk about, how like Dan DiDio still has a job. How does Dan Slott still get work? He's pretty much universally hated over there. I mean, everything he does, every character he touches. So he's perhaps best known for his work with Spider-Man and totally running Spider-Man into the ground and not making him a character of any kind of interest whatsoever. But one of the more famous things he did when Spider-Man was, if Fan-Man was here, you could kind of give more of the specifics. I don't know, Troy, if you followed any of the Spider-Man comics.
I haven't for years.
Yeah,
but I used to. I used to be an avid Spider-Man reader.
Well, he did the whole Doc Ock thing, where suddenly Peter Parker.
I was out before then. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know I'm sure people in the chat know. I don't know the specifics exactly what happened to Peter Parker, but Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's body, I think it was,
Yep.
And suddenly, because Dan Slott is a short little fat man, and he likes the character who's a short little fat man in the comics, and he wanted to turn around and make him the hero of the comics. So you've got Doc Ock being the new Spider-Man, which was just dumb. I mean, maybe for like a 10-issue miniseries or something, an interesting idea to try out. But he was like, this was a straight up new age of Spider-Man comics for a long time. It was ridiculous, and it's just not something you do, the Spider-Man mythos. And he's turning around and doing the exact same thing with Iron Man now, apparently. Why would I bother reading this issue? But everybody's been freaking out about it, and CBR's got the news here. Apparently, it's been revealed. It's kind of like a Captain America kind of thing, too, they did with Captain Nazi, where it's revealed now, I think, that Iron Man has actually been dead for a while, and there's this like AI that took over his body or something, and now he's revealing himself as the villain. Like, guys, first of all, this is Dan Slott at his old tricks. Secondly, didn't you just do this with Captain America? I mean, do you have no original ideas over there? What's so freaking ever? I think it's that, hey, crap, this rich white guy character is really popular. We need to bring him down a notch. It's the same thing they did with Captain America. This guy wears a flag on his chest, and we don't like who the president is right now, so let's make him a Nazi. Well, let's take this billionaire capitalist down a peg and make him a villain. You guys, none of you deserve any money over there. You pay us for just knowing that this crap is out in the universe now.
Well, and it does require some discerning readers to start saying, oh, this is brilliant and original. First we had Doc Ock Spider-Man, then we had Hydra Captain America, now we've got the evil Iron Man. What's next? Loki takes over Thor. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's so predictable, Please subvert our expectations and give us good stories.
Well, I mean, look how they've tried to systematically replace every straight white male character, right? They can't really do away with Peter Parker, but at least we brought Miles Morales into this universe now, so he can be there too. And when you say Spider-Man, you could be meaning him. We did away with Thor. Thor wasn't worthy for the longest time. They tried to make that stick as long as they possibly could, but people were having enough of it. I think they're doing something else wonky with Thor now. So Lady Thor comes in. The Sam Wilson is Captain America they did for a while, the Iron Heart, with Riri, and I guarantee you she's going to have a major role in this and be like the leader rallying the troops or something against this Iron Man villain or whatever. It's just, who reads this? Who really? Because even people
nobody apparently. I mean, the readership's going down, down, down.
And even people on Twitter, you see, SJWs who defend it, they're not buying each issue.
I'd be interested to see what their sales numbers are right now, comparatively, like over the last 5 years.
Well, they'll doctor them up. You better be like really careful where you get your source from, because
Well, I mean, like really. I mean, like I said, I'd like to know what the real numbers would actually be.
I have to believe that because they are owned by Disney, they can be whatever the heck they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, heck, Disney doctors their movie numbers.
Yeah.
So you better believe that Marvel can do whatever they want, regardless of what their actual numbers are.
Oh, yeah. Disney just does what it wants. The only thing I can think of that would possibly make them, if they ever truly did, and I do believe there's some truth to what Troy's saying here that they're starting to realize, oh crap, but I just can't see them actually doing the logical conclusions and actually going in the right direction after realizing they're in trouble. It just doesn't seem any kind of thing that they've ever done before. But if they did that, the only thing that would be the only thing I think that could bring Marvel Comics in line. Would they realize, wait a minute, all these shenanigans that people hate are stemming from the comics originally. Let's, if that took place, maybe, I don't know. Oh yeah. So the comic sales now this is old news. I'm sure they pulled many little tricks since then, but this is just an example. And I used to use this in my college composition class too, as an example of make sure you investigate your sources, right? Make sure these sources are credible. And you're not just finding the first thing that says something that, might support your argument and citing it. Because remember when Marvel was doing this thing where people would say that, there's stacks and stacks of Marvel comics at our comic shops. No one's reading this stuff. And Marvel would turn around and just say, oh, yeah, well, here's our numbers. We're actually increasing sales. So there you go. Well, what Marvel knowingly was doing at that time was they would make comic book shops buy X amount of titles, of numbers of this title. So, you've got like 10 people who want to subscribe to Spider-Man. Well, we're not selling you any unless you buy at least 50. And they up that, making the comic shops buy a certain amount. And then that was the number that they were citing, not the actual number of comics that were sold to individual readers who actually cared about it or wanted it. They were just citing the numbers that they had manufactured to be high in order to sell the comic shops. And of course, the comic shops were the ones suffering. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Which also explains why you find them in, half price books and all the discount stores later on.
Yeah. Before we move on from the Iron Man thing, though, I did want to point out, though, that there are folks out there that don't like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. There are some people, which I get, because I've never been an Iron Man comic reader. I've never really been, so if you're really, but I've never really heard anybody show me how his portrayal in the MCU is radically different, and completely a different character. I mean, every now and then you'll find somebody who wants to claim that, though. But for the most part, RDJ was universally loved and accepted and really embodied that character. And he made that character a household name. I mean, your average person, no one knew who Iron Man was. Well, everybody knows who Superman is, whether you read comic books or not. But that's become the case now for Iron Man, too, to a large degree, whereas, that was never even remotely the case. Before that. And what did Disney do? They got rid of him. Now you can say, well, he wanted to leave the role, this, and that. I don't really buy that. I think, because isn't he coming back already to do a a voiceover, I think, or something enough?
Yeah, he's doing some stuff on their TV thing.
Yeah.
Streaming thing.
Yeah. So they could get him back, but they didn't want to pay the money, first of all. And then I also think there was the agenda of them not wanting this white straight guy, this billionaire white straight guy, anybody that even has 2 degrees of similarity to Donald Trump in their mind, cannot be the face of our, we got to get rid of that, so they were determined to get him out of the spotlight. No more, new phase now. We're done with him. And then this is a beloved character, a moneymaker for them. Let's kill him in the movies and make him a villain in the comics. Nothing about this makes any kind of logical sense whatsoever.
Yeah, we have something that's popular. Can't have that. Let's kill that.
Yeah.
And you realize you're just killing your own bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
It's selling, can't be successful, can't have that. Let's stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Speaking of their comics being so ridiculous, let me stop this and share this other one. The Captain Marvel comics, which, how are they still even being printed? They're being printed out of ego, nothing else, because no one cares about these comic books.
Because they get like 10 issues out and then they cancel it and reboot it.
Exactly. But this was in one of the most recent issues. They had to, because, the way to make sure people buy your comic book is to insult the readers who aren't buying your comic book. So, Brie Larson, now she can't smile without looking like a crazy person. There's a part, this is the panels in one of the recent comic books. Stand down, Avenger. You are outside your depths. Here, your heat tolerance, blah, blah, blah. Sure thing. Why don't you tell me to smile more while you're at it, Fire Lord? Really? Yeah. Actually, that wouldn't be such a... you got punched. See? Take that, fanboys. Take that, incels. Tell a woman to smile. She gets to punch you.
See, the problem with that is nobody wants Brie to smile because she looks like the Joker.
Yeah.
And they really told us, didn't they? Ooh.
They did. Look at them tell us off in that comic.
That showed me some, yeah, brother.
What it really shows is you're this powerful superhero, but you still got a chip on your shoulder that you gotta keep bringing up to an alien who really does not care whether you smile or not.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like the Angela Queen of Hell or whatever comic book that what's her name, Marguerite Bennett had about the had the I forgot which villain. It was like Thor's grandfather or something, spouting all this anti-Semitic blah blah blah, and I think it was even that's for saying feminism like it's a 4-letter word. Like, oh my gosh, Marvel, this will go down in history. Seriously, this will go down. This will be in a textbook someday of like, what the hell were these people thinking?
Well,
right.